The Ambazonia, special loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the hero who fought along the gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing with the holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation.
Fellow Ambazonians, good evening in Kwakwa, good evening in Donga, good evening in Europe, good afternoon in other parts of the world, and good morning in Asia. All man he plays day. I'm your humble servant, deputizing for Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. I send to you salutations and congratulations for being that generation that will put an end to Cameroon's thuggery, to Cameroon's failed adventure in Ambazonia, but also to stand your ground against black on black colonialism, black on black slavery perpetrated by Cameroon under the watchful eyes of France. I salute all the men, women, children, girls, and boys on Ground Zero. For 8 years running, you have used civil disobedience, you have used protests in order to show the enemy that despite being in their dungeons, you will challenge them on every inch of your land. I salute the bravery of our fighters. Since Cameroon declared war through its octogorian president on the 30th of November 2017, you have humbled their so-called B. You have humbled their gendarmes. You have made their governors and the administrators work from outside Ambazonia, and when they venture into Ambazonia, they are in armored cars. That is your bravery. People were once written as dead and buried, as 2 cubes of sugars, and as rats. You rose up to challenge them, and they became so angry and declared war upon you. What you have done will go down in history as a people with bare minimum, nothing but trees and branches and leaves to challenge the enemy, but rose from the dead and acquired the same weaponry, acquired the same tactics, used far superior strategies in order to challenge the occupation on the ground, in the international scene, and politically, as well as in communications. You have stood the test of time. I salute particularly the commanders of the Ambazonian Governing Council in the diaspora, the commanders of the Ambazonian Defense Forces on Ground Zero, the commanders of all sister forces and brother forces within Ground Zero, over the past month, you have shown the enemy that sleep not be die. They have manufactured schemes upon schemes. Return to normalcy. Regional assemblies, bilingualism commission, national dialogue. They have manufactured people within the revolution. They have manufactured lies within the liberation. They have twisted your narrative within the war so that you can be deflated and abandon your cause. No. Cameroon is the one that is deflated. They are defeated in Ambazonia. Cameroon, just like in the rule book of colonialists, have recruited enablers and traitors within us in order to advance its occupation, in order to maintain its failed annexation of Ambazonia. But this never again generation, we are a generation at least 26 to 30 years to fight Cameroon, and so too other Ambazonians. When this war started in 2017, those that were 10 years are now 18 years, and they've lived through the violence perpetrated upon them by Cameroon, and they are of fighting age. That is the generation that Cameroon is creating, that would leave no stone unturned until Cameroon failed conquest in Ambazonia is uprooted. Fellow Ambazonians, I thank you so much, especially for those who have been contributing through their liberation tax, through their lobby firm, through the lobby endeavor, through the legal endeavor, and other means of contributions for the defense of homeland. I salute all the brave forces for the work you do on the ground. Cameroon is crumbling. Cameroon has witnessed 750 defections from its military last month alone. Cameroon is unable to fight. And if you thought Boko Haram was strong for Cameroon, their biggest fear is not Boko Haram, it's Ambazonia. Because look down memory lane. When Cameroon declared war through its president, Paul Biya, who is senile, they thought they were going to defeat us in 2 weeks because we never had a chance to survive. When they could not defeat us in 2 weeks, their propagandists gave 2 months. They went and recruited Chadians. Chadians came in, beheaded Sam Sawyer, caused the most heinous crimes, rapes, torture, extrajudicial killings that are documented by Human Rights Watch and other international humanitarian organizations. Cameroon used helicopter gunships. They recruited the French, came to Ambazonia. We humbled them in our forests, in our valleys, in our trenches, and they all withdrew. Cameroon recruited the Americans under the Joe Biden administration because we developed new tactics to pop them out of the armored cars and their trenches. They recruited the Americans thinking that because they have fought in Iraq and Afghanistan, they could teach them 1 or 2 things on diffusing pops. They were stationed in Yaoundé. They horned them. But when they came to the field, we still popped them. And we are in the next generation of pops. Cameroon, as Honorable Weber, the Nsor warrior, said, you can bring the entire army of the world to Ambazonia. You will not defeat us. Because time is on our side. We are fighting a just cause. And the land is our land. We know the crooks and crannies of Ambazonia. Cameroon can learn a lesson from America. The United States invaded Afghanistan with 53 countries supporting it. After 20 years of occupation, the United States negotiated with Taliban and left. It will be no different for Cameroon. And Cameroon is not going to do 20, 15, or even 10 years in Ambazonia. Cameroon has now realized that it cannot win the war, either through its own military that has been humbled or through infiltrators and enablers that we keep identifying them day in, day out. It has now resorted to the international community for help. Fellow countrymen and women, I can now assure you that Cameroon is working with European countries to find a Cameroonian solution to the crisis, to the war, to the violence, to the regions, whatever they call them, because they want to undercut what the Ambazonia Governing Council and other movements are doing across the Atlantic. I can assure you that as we speak, the international community will be inviting all Ambazonians of all shades for an international conference to lay out a framework for Ambazonia. I can assure you that as we speak, Cameroon has sent emissaries to go and talk to your leader, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, in jail. The arrest of Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba by the corrupt cripples in Norway, led by the corrupt lady Annette Berger, did not arrest Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba because of any crimes against humanity. Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, just like any other official within the Ambazonian Governing Council, has never engaged in any crimes against humanity. They arrested him because they wanted to stifle political voices. They wanted to decapitate the leadership of the Ambazonian Governing Council. They wanted to decapitate the Ambazonian Defense Forces on the ground. They thought by doing so, they were going to crumble the revolution. Fast forward 6 months, the revolution, our war of liberation, whatever you call it, is intact. And they have no choice but to go to plan B. Cameroon reached out to me through emissaries, and I sent them to Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. And I can speak with you, they are talking with him. His arrest, his detention was nothing but a ploy by the European NATO partners, supported by the Joe Biden administration, which has now left office. And as such, the NATO European partners had nowhere to go. They have come back to the drawing board, to their plan B, to find a solution to the Ambazonian War of Liberation as quickly as possible before our partners step in. I have bad news for them. The self-determination quest for Ambazonia is non-negotiable. It is a fundamental right of every people on earth. And as such, that will not be negotiated. Cameroon can engage in all types of negotiations. As they've said, they want to negotiate with all Ambazonians. The Ambazonian Governing Council and other movements are ready for you. Whenever you want to negotiate, let us know. But mind you, there will be no negotiations in Cameroon. National Dialogue 2 will not involve the Ambazonian Governing Council. And as National Dialogue 1 failed, if you stick your head as an ostrich in sand and go ahead with National Dialogue 2, it's still going to fail. I know that's what you've been contemplating. I thank the intelligence services of the Ambazonian Governing Council for being able to bring to us all the geopolitical happenings and the national happenings within our enemy's territory. I also thank all those within Cameroon who are providing the Ambazonian Governing Council and the ADF with so much needed intelligence. Upon independence, you will be celebrated for helping your people. For those who are traitors, I know Cameroon has requested that we decriminalize the priest and the chiefs. That is being debated. Not all of them will be decriminalized. Some of them will still be on our traitor list. Fellow countrymen and women, we are pursuing potent diplomacy, and it is for that reason that the European Union wants to undercut what we are doing by negotiating their own end to the crisis before our active partner comes into play. But rest assured that whether it's the European Union or the United States, our basic rights to self-determination will not be trampled upon. That is the bare minimum, and it's not up for negotiation. Fellow Ambazonians, the decapitation of the ADF has taken another turn with propagandists. It has taken another turn because Cameroon thinks that by putting out certain narratives is going to dissuade the Ambazonian people from engaging in their fundamental right of freedom. I have bad news for Cameroon. We sign up to free our people. This is a generation that is defiant to the last person. Whether it is Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, whether it's Ayuk Siseko, whether it's all the people you rendition from Nigeria to Cameroon, there are still many more Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba outside. There are still many more Siseko Ayuk Tabi outside. The conveyor belt of the resistance against Cameroon occupation is unending. The conveyor belt of our fighters is unending. Let me take you down memory lane, Cameroon. When you take out the first Ambazonian general, Kumba, many of you don't even know who Kumba was. General Ivo rose to the task, and he was more lethal. When you took out General Ivo and declared victory, Supreme rose. While Supreme was at work, another conveyor belt, General No Pity, rose. When you took out Supreme, there was weapon. When you even rendition the Calabar 9 through the work of enablers in the United States, you thought the revolution was dead because you had renditioned the 9 I have been briefed team of the Ambazonian Defense Forces to Yaoundé dungeons. Many more have been briefed teams rose to the task. When you took out Major JC, many of them rose, and they are fighting you in urban guerrilla warfare. They are fighting you in the forest of Ambazonia, in the hills and the valleys of our land. When you worked with internal enablers to take out the 39 in Bui, double that amount resurfaced. So no amount of decapitation is going to work, because the Ambazonian Governing Council and the Ambazonian Defense Forces and other sister forces have an elaborate strategy, have an elaborate conveyor belt of an unending chain of command and succession planning. We can assure you that this crisis will be resolved on the terms of the Ambazonian people. And I caution the international community, particularly France, Norway, and Canada, engaged in this new endeavor, that there is no country on earth where majority French speakers or people of French culture have peacefully cohabited with people of Anglo-Saxon origin. But the reverse is true. Where Anglophones or people of Anglo-Saxon origin are the majority, they are more accommodating to the French. So there is no point in time where Ambazonia will be cohabiting with Cameroon. I know Cameroon faced difficult choices, but their era of one Cameroon is dead and buried. Messaging alone would not save Cameroon from crumbling. And the Ambazonian people are ready to make a move when time comes. Ambazonia, this is the calm before the storm. We will pick on Cameroon for the last fight at our given time and when the conditions are right. Cameroon has reached the crumbling threshold that we set for total takeover. But we will hit them at the right time. I know most of you are in the trenches waiting, and Cameroon thinks that with overt violence, with the killing of 12 civilians and littering their bodies around Bamenda 3 days ago, they're going to break your resolve. This is a generation of defiance. This is the never against generation. This is the generation that has humbled a once strong military within the Central African region. This is the generation that has humbled, invited Chadians, invited French and invited American soldiers in Ambazonia. And we will not stop. Because, as I said, if you bring the entire world army into Ambazonia, we will defeat you because time is on our side. The only solution for Cameroon is to pack out of Ambazonia. If the Canadian foreign minister, just 2 days ago, said there can be no peace in the Middle East without a two-state solution, for Cameroon, Cameroon will witness no peace until Ambazonia is free. Cameroon will know no peace until Ambazonia is free. Cameroon will know no peace until all the traitors, enablers are brought to book. There will be no reconciliation in Ambazonia. There will be justice and peace commission. So if you are an enabler, a traitor, if you are working with the regime to continue its occupation, we have failed because we have reconciled with those who have killed, those who have maimed, those who have extended the suffering of Ambazonian people. We will find you, we will bring you through the laws and the courts of Ambazonia, and you will answer for your crimes. My fellow people, your leader says I should extend salutations to you people, and that you shouldn't bother with him, and that his continuous detention is nothing for you to fear for. And as I earlier said, the day you see him out, that will be the beginning of the descent, the beginning of the final fight to Boya. We are more than capable. We are strong. We are upbeat. And if Cameroon thinks by intimidating us in the diaspora, by decapitating us on the ground, by making us weak, they will weaken our hand on the negotiation table, Cameroon is lying. We have all what it takes in terms of material, in terms of intellect, in terms of human resources to beat Cameroon as we are doing on the ground to beat them on the negotiation table as we did in Canada. Cameroon has no case. Cameroon has no stamina. And in the coming days, our people will be witnessing a new turn in our revolution. Just like Ground Zero is collaborating among themselves, I have tasked a team within the AGOVC to reach out to other movements because they have reached out to us before, so that we can find common avenue to collaborate in areas where there is less friction, just like we did before the Canadian negotiations. Also to prepare Ambazonians for the upcoming international conference for Ambazonians. I can assure you that the international community, particularly the European Union countries, are working to make sure that that happens. So I call on other movements, irrespective of your shade, to work with the specialist team from the Ambazonian Governing Council to find common grounds where we can operate, to find common pathways where we can work together. For areas of contention, we can hold on and build trust. Of collaboration in the diaspora has come, and it is time for every movement that stands for the freedom of Ambazonian people to put hand and glove together and collaborate in areas where there is possibility to collaborate, and hold on in other areas where there is contention. My people, you have never been at a good position as it is now due to the changing geopolitical dynamics and our strategic posture that we have undertaken. It is time for you to fund your liberation. It is time for you to fund whatever fighting unit you have on the ground. Any force that is fighting under the flag merits your support. And I thank all the other handlers of different forces across the 13 states of Ambazonia for collaborating with the Ambazonian Defense Forces, sometimes on ad hoc basis, sometimes on more profound basis. I thank each and every fighter for standing your ground. You have shed your blood for our freedom. We will honor you in our garden of remembrance upon liberation. You will always remain in our history as those that gave up the ghost for the future generation to be prosperous in a country that will practice full democracy. The rule of law would be supreme for everyone. In a country where you would go to school to enhance your opportunities through an educational system that will make you an asset rather than the current liability system that is being practiced by Cameroon in Ambazonia. You will be in a state where you would have basic social care facilities and all necessities that are required for a minimum standard of living. That is the kind of Ambazonia that we will build. And I can assure you that the Ambazonian people have the human resources in order to achieve these projects. In the coming months, the manifesto will be launched. And that manifesto clearly spells out the kind of Ambazonia that we want to put in place. Kindly spells out the foundation of your state. Your statehood is a given. It is how we negotiate with Cameroon to emerge from it. That is your task now. And as I said, be prepared for both options. Either the option being taken by a select European Union states or the option that will be taken by the other side of the Atlantic. Either way, the Ambazonian people, through the Ambazonian Governing Council and other movements, will put the interests of Ambazonia at the forefront. We will make sure that the aspirations of our people, whether those that are incarcerated in Cameroon dungeons, those internally displaced, those as refugees in other countries can stand proud. Hail, hail this land of glory. Oh, my place day.
Glory, we the Ambazonia, special loyalty, praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom, allegiance to the hero who called the lonely gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing rivers and holy, glory. Glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of His nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of His name.